Hi everyone, I'm Lauren, and I'm here again with another film for my Disney watching challenge thingy. And today, this is gonna be an interesting one to talk about, and that is Song of the South from 1946. This is the infamous film that Disney does not want to acknowledge. It is infamous for being that film racism. Disney tries to bury this film very much so. They don't acknowledge it really. They don't put it on streaming. I don't think it was ever put on home media. So it was very interesting to see what the actual film was like. I've only heard it's racist, but never any explanation how it is. This might be a little difficult for me to talk about, but I'll try to talk about it not bad. We'll see. So anyway, what is Song of the South about? It's a pretty simple plot-wise story. It's about this kid who goes off to stay with his grandma at her plantation, I think it is. And he meets this older man named Uncle Remus. And Uncle Remus tells this little kid various stories of Briar Rabbit, I think it is, and a few other different animal characters, and he uses those stories to help out with the kids' various issues. Very simple issues generally, like bullying, and I don't remember some of the others, but you know, they're pretty simple things. So most of the film is live action, but the stories are told through animation, and these segments are entertaining and fun and colorful to watch. So I did like that part. However, the problem is with the live action. Before we get into the more problematic parts of it, let me just say that it's boring. It's very boring. to me anyway. It's like the kid goes around, he has a very problem with something, Uncle Remus helps him, tells a story, yay, exciting bit, and then goes on and oops, another thing, and they're not really interesting problems to me, and the pacing kind of felt weird. There are some parts where it's just plodding along, very, very slow, and other parts it's like bam, 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 stuff happening. Particularly near the end, it almost felt like, oopsies, we need to have some sort of like climax and a denouement and stuff like that, so shoot, just stuff. And it was just like, whoa, okay, neat, climax happens, okay, resolution, go, Honestly, not sure if there's supposed to be a moral here or something. It feels like the kind of story that, like, oh yeah, there's problems or whatever, and then at the end of the day, you learn that friends are cool or something. I don't know. It doesn't feel like there was one of those. All of that out of the way, let's get into the more sensitive stuff, and that's racism, yay! So, as you might imagine, since it's at a plantation, I don't know what time period it is. Of course, there's a lot of interaction between the richer white people, which includes the son, and the black people who work at the plantation and doing other things, like being servants and whatnot. Uncle Remus is part of that, but I don't know what actually he does. I don't know what he does, actually. He just sits around and tells stories, so whatever. Regardless, the thing that I was not expecting about this film was that it's not racist in the sense that it demeans or belittles the black characters. Nobody treats them poorly, really. There's like one instance where the mom of the little white boy main character, she tells Uncle Remus, hey, can you stop telling stories to my kid because he's being too rambunctious or something? I don't remember her reason. I thought it was kind of dumb. Other than that, there's no like meanness towards them. I thought that would be more the thing, or making fun of them. But it is a little uncomfortable because all of these black people who are working in the plantation or as servants or whatnot, they're all just kind of like, oh yay, doing my job, yippee yay. And it just feels like it's shoving that whole slavery issue under the rug and like, oh, actually this was a grand grand thing for these people to do, and they were all happy, see? I don't know if that's better or worse, but it did feel a little like... it was a bit off-putting to me. And really, after watching the film, it didn't need to take place on a plantation. It is based around a novel called Uncle Remus, I believe that's what it is. I haven't read it, but from what I can glance from the synopsis and kind of things, it sounds like it's a bunch of short stories, like the short stories about Briar Rabbit and such. And it doesn't seem to have anything to do with a kid going to a plantation and all the stuff that's in between kind of thing. So why couldn't it just have been Uncle Remus telling stories? Why couldn't it have been just Uncle Remus telling the stories and they have animated segments with Uncle Remus maybe saying something in between to a bunch of children? They have already made a compilation of shorts before with Fantasia and maybe something else. I don't remember exactly, but definitely they've done Fantasia before this. So why couldn't they have done that? It maybe would have not quite avoided the racism stuff, but depending on how they did it. But wait, why did we have this whole plot with this plantation thing and the kid having problems with bullies and stuff? It wasn't necessary, honestly, and it was boring, and it just gets, oh yeah, so if they're happy, okay. Oh yeah. Overall, even without all the whitewashy racist stuff or whatever, I don't know how to word it very well. Even without all that, it's a boring film. And then, minus the animated segments. And then you add in all the yucky stuff, and then it's just like, unappealing. So, I wouldn't watch this film again. Some of the clips, the animated segments, are on other things, I believe, and I would watch those again. Those were fun. None of the other stuff. None of the other stuff. So I don't really recommend watching this either. Anyway, that's all I have to say about this. Let me know if you watched this as well, and your thoughts on it and that kind of thing. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again in another video. Bye!